Hey, my loves. Hey, kings and queens. It's your girl, lovely angel lady, L to the A to the L. Thank y'all for tuning in today, y'all. I look almost dead. I'm so tired today. I've been having like crazy allergies, and y'all know I live in the desert. I live in Las Vegas, so it's like got my voice all hoarse, and y'all know I already have issues sleeping and stuff like that because of I have myasthenia gravis, which is a neuromuscular condition. I have quite a bit going on in asthma and some other stuff, so just kept me up. I was like just not feeling 100, but so I look tired, but I am fine. I have this it's like a sweatshirt from Shein that says know your worth, then add tax. Just meaning value yourself. You know, there's nothing wrong with, having self-love. Doesn't mean that you have to be cocky or conceited, But kings and queens, I hope y'all are okay. I decided that I'm gonna film multiple videos again today. I have a wig review to do because I partnered with a company to do that wig review. So when I finish up over here, I'm just doing a little something makeup wise, not nothing too much. Y'all know I just enjoy it, but sometimes when I'm tired, I don't want much to do with it. So we're gonna keep it pretty simple. So I'm not even really gonna explain like what I'm doing. I did that in the last video. I'm just gonna talk to you while I'm getting myself together, okay? So, but I recently did a therapist response to Kevin Samuel's video. And in that video, I went on in the comments are disabled because I didn't want, one way or another, somebody's not going to change my mind. But it's a lot of people that don't even watch the full video to see what you're saying before they hop down in the comments and, start trying to defend especially like if they're a fan of the person that you're speaking about or whatever. And they completely skip over like anything that you said you agreed with and just focus on only the negative, you know what I mean? But anyway, in that video, the very first comment that someone left was saying that he was looking forward to basically a video of a psychological breakdown on unrealistic expectations, like dating expectations or, relationship expectations. Pretty much the same thing. But a relationship can be, with anybody. It doesn't have to be like a romantic thing, but dating wise, Because that was one thing that I did agree with, is that the lady in the video, she was not realistic in her expectations. And y'all that watched the whole video should have heard me say that. But I did say I do not argue with people or whatever. I still love y'all. It's just like if I have a best friend and we don't agree, on the topic at hand, or we think a little differently about something, or she does something wrong and I still say, I think you were wrong, but I love you. I love you, girl. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing wrong with not 100% agreeing with every little thing that someone does or says. So that's why I said, I would be a big girl. I wouldn't be hurt about that for sure. But he said that he was looking forward to a video like that, and that he works in forensics, which I thought was kind of cool. So shout out to you if you're watching, because this is an excellent topic. We're not going to so much focus on Kevin Samuels, Mr. Samuels. We are going to pretty much focus on the whole unrealistic expectations. So as I said, I will be getting ready. So fellas, sorry, but you know, I gotta make my coins too. And I'm a jack of many trades, as you can see. I'm into beauty, fashion, and lifestyle just as well as mental health. I'm actually going to use this, whatever this is, this Lime Crime. It's actually a lip, what is it? Liquid lipstick, like a matte liquid lipstick, because the wig that they sent me is like a reddish color, and I didn't want my brows like super duper dark. I didn't want them like too dark. So we doing our brows with this. Plus I know it holds well and it's not gonna budge. So anywho, how let me bring this mirror over here so when I'm talking to y'all, it's not distracting with me looking way over there. And y'all might hear my boys, my boys in there talking to their little friends. They finished their schoolwork, and so they're super excited to be online with their friends right now. So with COVID, that's how it's gotta be, and mama's gotta compromise the immune system. So pretty much right now, that's the only way we can do it. But anyway, guys, so I was reading this really interesting article that I want to tell you about. It's a Psych Central article written by Margarita Tartakovsky, MS. And I find it very interesting. And the biggest unrealistic expectation that she mentions is that people shouldn't have unrealistic expectations. And I was like, oh goodness, how interesting is that? But the thing is, most of us have them, you know, about something. A lot of times, you know, we have to come to reality, or we end up, you know, figuring out that we weren't having realistic expectations, and so we have to kind of reevaluate things, you know, do a little bit of reflecting, and just take a look in the mirror and check ourselves a little bit. Sorry guys. Sometimes it's not, you don't really notice, like, you know, it's not really noticeable to you because you're not really like examining, you know, analyzing, looking into what you're doing and how you're acting. Just on a regular basis, you know what I mean? And so having unrealistic expectations is considered unhealthy. It sets, there we go. It sets everyone within the relationship up for failure. The person with the expectations is expecting something that's not realistic to go down. And often the other person on the other end don't even know that that's what that other person's expectations are, you know. And so one thing that I will, you know, relate to the Kevin Samuels, the whole interview or whatever, the live, that the lady that he was speaking to, he was right about her, 100% right about her unrealistic expectations. Y'all, I can't talk right today. I don't, you know, he went as far as to say that she was going to die alone. And that is a sad reality. You know, he definitely didn't sugarcoat anything. And I thought that was, you know, a little bit harsh, but you know, everybody is different. He just doing him and being him the way that he does. And people who do follow him, you know, before you call in, you should already have an idea of how, you know, he does things. But one thing, yeah, that's one thing that I said in my video, that the previous video, that I agree with, is that she definitely needed to get some counseling and really learn to kind of understand that if you don't even value yourself, you don't even think you think you're basically saying you're average if you're saying you're a 5 or a 6. You know what I mean? And but if you're expecting to get everything you want, you know, in a person, sometimes you just really have to think about it. Like, am I being unrealistic? Especially if you've been experiencing like dating issues and stuff like that for like a long time. Sometimes you got to just really evaluate, like, if it's your expectations not being realistic was keeping you from getting, you know, for basically keeping you single, or making ruining your relationships, because it will, you know, that does happen. We've all had them, you know. I remember when I was in my counseling program, and I found out that I had like things going on with my health, y'all. I was so determined to graduate, and I wanted to keep my straight A's, and I kind of just wanted the illness to just like it randomly came, I wanted it to randomly go back where it came from, because it just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And I wanted to keep, you know, trying to live my life as though it weren't happening, so I could try to stay focused. But life has a way of reminding you that things are still going on, honey. So I didn't really set myself up for failure, but it made it harder on me. You can say that I was pretty much set myself up for failure, because I should have been more realistic about the fact that this is what's going on with my health, and I need to make these adjustments so that I can finish. You know, I did finish school and everything, but it was extremely hard trying to operate in the way that I previously did before I had a diagnosis. And I found out, like, I still had like a whole year left when I found out that I had multiple autoimmune conditions and stuff. But, you know, y'all, I tell y'all all the time, like, I was born premature, so I came into this world battling for my life, okay? So, what don't kill you make you stronger. Because, you know, once you know you can make it through it, it kind of helps you understand that you can make it through anything. I don't know, y'all. Pepsi tastes like syrup, because the only thing I usually drink is like ginger ale tea, maybe some lemonade and water, sometimes a little wine, or, you know, a strawberry daiquiri or something like that. One of those dailies. Like, I don't be liking a whole lot of stuff to drink. Like, I don't know why I be tripping like that. It's not good for you anyway. Too much sugar. But I think it's like that because I haven't been drinking like brown drinks, and so they taste like super syrupy. If any of you have ever like had unrealistic expectations, like you knew you wanted to lose weight, but you set a goal like super high for yourself, like I'm gonna lose, you know, 30 pounds in 2 months, in the first 2 months or something like that. You gotta take, you know, your BMI, your weight, all that, calculate all that up to determine, number one, what you gotta do to lose that weight. And you gotta be realistic about how much, you know, you're really going to be losing. Because a lot of times people at that point end up quitting because they're not being realistic about the expectations, and so they get down on themselves, beat themselves up over it, the fact that they didn't achieve the unrealistic goal that they set for themselves. So it kind of works the same in a relationship. I'm just pretty much giving an example. Those of you who are counselors, therapists, you know, psychiatrists and so forth. I know you already know this is for those that don't, what I'm explaining like that. I'm just going to assume that everybody does not know what I'm talking about. Yeah, unrealistic expectations are potentially damaging because we draw conclusions that are just not going to happen, And sometimes we know good and well our expectations be too high. So like if you are average, but you want a man who is a CEO of a company and makes 6 figures or over 6 figures, you just have to really be realistic about your expectations. Like, sure, you might think you deserve that, but you got to think about, is that attractive to him? Or would that be, if you were someone else, would you be attracted to the situation? Because the truth is, men have options, especially when they have money. And they are probably going to more than likely stray away from a lot of drama, a situation where, there's a single mom, dad's not really active in the child's life, because it's like considered like a liability to that person. They're like, well, what is there that, what can I get out of this situation? Because you seem like you're getting everything out of it, They're going to feel like they're coming up short. And a lot of times relationships won't work out because of stuff like that. But that's the thing. I always say communication is key. So, if you're dating, certain things don't come up obviously on the first date, but, be willing to communicate, because a closed mouth does not get fed. And just be honest. You don't have to be like necessarily rude. Just communicate however it is that you communicate. Be yourself, but be realistic. Like if that person asks you, what you want, and certain things are a deal breaker. Like for instance, you might be like me, someone who has asthma, and so you might be like, I cannot date anybody that smokes because I tried that and it almost killed me, So that might be something that you're like, okay, that's going to be a deal breaker for you. So you got to be realistic about what those deal breakers are, because some people are like, if he's not, 6'5", some lady straight be like, I don't want him if he's not, looking like Denzel was looking in his younger days. And he still looked good. Yeah, a lot of us have experienced having unrealistic expectations. Yeah, a lot of times when people set expectations like that, it can just lead to, feelings of failure and depression and all kind of stuff. So it's like, why put yourself through that? Why put somebody else through that? If both people within the relationship are willing to sit there and, be open with one another, be respectful and say, hey, this is what I'm willing to do. This is what I have to offer you. And, we're adults. You can do that in a situation. But when it's been 5-6 years and you still alone, it's questionable. Like, what should you be doing differently? What are these men or these women finding unattractive about you? What do they say? What do they complain about? Or when do they disappear? What are you telling them when all of a sudden they're, kind of just ghost you? Pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Because that means if it's happening and it's happening over and over again, that's a sign. It's a red flag. It's like ding, ding, ding. At that point, you should be able to put your finger on, oh, it must be this or that they're not liking, because every time I say or do this or bring up that, they end up ghosting me or whatever, They don't want to have much to do with me anymore after that. But I can give y'all some examples of unrealistic expectations. For example, like if I'm thinking everyone must like me, that's not really realistic because we're all different. We're not 100% the same. So although you may want everyone to like you, considering that people have different opinions, they pick up on vibes. Some people believe in, astrology even, and if you're a certain sign, honey, they don't want nothing to do with you. And so people are different. Everybody's not going to think like you do. Everybody is not going to, react the same. I know people that come across as they're like overreacting, with everything. But that's just how that person is. Like that's very emotional type person like that. But you don't want to miss a good thing. Talking about the man or the woman has got to make 6 figures because you saying, I'm a great woman or a great guy or whatever. And I deserve that because it might be somebody that comes along that's, 3 times better than what this individual would be to you. Just because they have money doesn't mean that they will be, perfect or a great fit for you just because of the money. Money, resolves one thing, when you have bills and stuff to pay, but bills are not the only thing that we have to deal with in this life. And that's one thing Mr. Samuels was telling the lady was that, those men that she wants, they don't care about, your money. They want to know what else you have to offer them. And if you're not like a dime piece and popping, and you got a child, and you're not with the father, and the child is a teenager and so forth, you're not gonna look, it's not gonna look tempting, for a man to want to actually, he's gonna look at you like you're a risk, or like he's coming up short because he has everything to offer, but it's like, what do you have at that point, So when a man has money like that, or a woman has money like that, that's not an issue for them. So they're not focused on that per se. You know what I mean? They might want somebody who's ambitious and, self-starter and motivated and dedicated to what they do and all this, that, and the other, got their head on their shoulders, intelligent, have an education, but physical attraction plays a major part in, there are some people out there that they don't care what someone looks like, but they're like, as long as you dress decent, you keep your hair cut, your face is groomed, and, you looking like something, they're like, it's good enough for them. They're pretty, okay with basic. And there are a lot of people out there that are like that. But then there are those that have extremely high expectations, which, psychologically that's not good. But some people think that, the world should be fair. It's unrealistic because we can't control everyone in the world. Everybody has different views, upbringings, all that stuff. So we can't, that's beyond our control, being that we can't control that to make that happen. I mean, we can try to do what we can to contribute to, but we can only do what's in our control. You know what I mean? So causing yourself to believe certain things is, will have you down and feeling like a dumb doorknob because you keep expecting or telling yourself that things should be one way when you know that it's highly unlikely, assuming she mentions in this article, assuming a certain level of control that we don't actually have in the situation too. So that's a good one. Y'all, I'm sorry about my voice. It is jacked up. Like I said, allergies have been cutting up. I think I'm gonna stick with my brows like this, and I'm just gonna move forward, y'all. I'm looking for a different brush. Yeah, things like it's not okay to have painful thoughts and feelings, to be depressed or anxious, but to think that everyone is not supposed to be any of those things will be unrealistic. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much similar when you're considering a relationship. Y'all, my camera just be timing out. I gotta figure out how to fix that. I have a Canon M50, and I love it, but it times out and I have to like pay attention to it and press the record button again. But anywho, how my big sister, the one that I did this other video telling y'all about her, she got murdered here in Vegas, and I was in high school. But she would tell me before I even start dating, I always pay attention to a guy's shoes. Like, he don't have to be rich, and but if he really taking care of himself, if you look down at his feet, his shoes should be at least wiped down and clean. Like, she always felt like, if he not taking care of himself, don't fool with him. So like, you look at his hair, because even if it's not a professional haircut, that person's at least trying to put forth the effort to take care of themselves. So everybody ain't gonna, be wealthy enough. And some people have money, but they just don't, they don't invest in expensive clothing. And a lot of times that kind of helps them stay wealthy. Trying to see. Guess I'll use this one. Yep. She would always tell me though to pay attention to their shoes. So basically, make sure they're not looking all dirty and that their face and stuff needs to be kept up. Like, we all do have our scruffy days, and we all know, like, once we get comfortable with people, we get comfortable with them. So we might not be as focused, but sometimes people will look, their absolute best when they're dating, and then when you get together, they start looking raggedy and scruffy, don't care about what they look like at all anymore. And it's like, oh my gosh, because that's what attracted, that's one thing that the person was attracted to, was the fact that they took so much pride in actually looking nice. The next thing you know, they got an I don't care attitude about it, but the other person's like, what's up with you? This ain't the person I remember meeting. Because it's almost like you standing there talking to a stranger at that point. But sometimes people just get tired of putting all that time and effort into, dressing up and stuff. They just be like, I'm over it. Can't blame them. I love to dress up and stuff, but like when you have a beauty, fashion, and lifestyle channel, and you're constantly doing like, cute looks and stuff like that, a comfort day, let me tell you, it's like the best. There. I'm gonna use that because, and I don't do this because I have to, but considering the topic of my channel, and like I'm about to do a certain video, I teamed up with a company, so I'm not gonna, I'm gonna try to do something, semi-stylish. That's what you do as a professional. That's like if you're a model, you're gonna try to look your best at that photo shoot. You're not trying to look, unless you're doing a photo shoot and you're supposed to be looking like, you work on cars or something. It just depends on what kind of photo shoot you're doing. Y'all, don't judge me. I know I'm looking a hot mess right now. But yeah, I just figured that, we as people do need to pay a little bit more attention to our expectations, because that can cause you to be alone for a very long time. It's like you just purposely kind of setting yourself, not really purposely, but subconsciously, setting yourself up for the okie doke. Y'all know I be saying okie doke. But setting yourself up for, failure. Because you're not being realistic. That's never good. And that lady, he did say she seemed like a nice lady. And she did. She just had some, some stuff going on that need addressing. And so she, seeing a therapist would be awesome for her. But, I was just to the point where I wasn't going to completely ignore, like I said what I agreed with, as well as what I found disturbing. And you can't just, especially as a professional in the field, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm okay with this. And because I'm okay with one thing, I'm going to be okay with everything. No, I'm going to address everything that I felt like could have been done a little bit better or differently. As well as what I agreed with. It's just that people tend to want to chime in only on the negative. I highly agree with him about number one, sis, she was trying to get in on a free session or something because she should have booked an appointment to, be able to speak with him. It was just that I just felt it went too far. Like, so no, I'm not going to just ignore that, and fan or not, like I said, it could be my sister, it could be a close friend. I'm not going to agree with everything they say and do all the time. I'm not like a sheep. I don't run up behind people. I have my own mind, and that's just what I found wrong with it. Like, why can I not be able to say that? And he could find something wrong with not liking something I do, like maybe not this makeup or something. You know what I mean? But we're not going to cry about it. It is what it is. We all have different opinions and different wants and needs. Different things that matter to us. And that's what I was telling y'all. People who are not in a helping field or even a diehard fan. A lot of times when we really look up to someone or whatever, we fail to see anything they do wrong because we're just not focusing in on that at all. It's like they couldn't do no wrong in our eyes, which is not really true because we're all human and none of us are perfect. And I don't know if y'all heard me say also that I had seen, some of his like earlier, videos and stuff like that. So, would I do things exactly the same? No, because we're different. And then also, counseling is not the same as, mental health counseling is not the same as like image consulting or dating, coaching and all that. It's different because you're dealing with, actual illnesses and you're addressing those problems. There we go. But that's also what I was saying. It's your choice at the end of the day. If it's somebody that you really admire, look up to, and you don't mind the way that they go about doing things, that's what I was saying. I'm not trying to tell nobody not to do something. But if you want to avoid certain situations, it is certain things that you need to do to be able to avoid them. That's neither here nor there. And so I think he's very intelligent. And obviously he keeps his image up because I don't think I've seen him look scruffy yet. He always keeps himself looking, as an image consultant, That's like, for instance, even though I'm a therapist, I'm also a beauty, fashion, and lifestyle influencer, content creator. And so when I'm doing stuff beauty and fashion related, I have to carry myself accordingly. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't got no earrings or nothing on. We got to get it together. But I didn't want to just, make this too much focus on the makeup. So that's why I said I'm just going to be talking to you while I get ready. And most of y'all who have been following me for a while have seen me do this. So it's not anything, I'm not doing anything special today. And if I was, I would take the time and actually do a tutorial and explain it. But like I said, I was tired, boss, so we ain't doing all that today. No, indeed, we shall not. Taking a little time to set this a little bit here and go on about my way. Our brows look like something. I'm gonna put on a little bit of primer on my face and keep it moving. But okay, so as far as like this whole psychology of things, since we're talking about this, let's get back into it. So it's no secret that many of us do set extremely high standards for our own selves. Okay, like I was telling you how I did with school. Even though I was sick, I wasn't looking at the full situation. I was just like, we gotta finish this, you know? And that's all I was focused on. I wasn't focused on what needed to change to get me there. What was different in my life. I didn't have the same type of energy and all that. I wasn't worried about none of that. My focus was like, it just need to be finished. I don't care how we do it, you know? I just was looking at it like I'm gonna do the same dang thing I had been doing to get to where I was getting. But realistically, that ain't how it goes. You know what I'm saying? When we think that setting high expectations will motivate us, like I'm really, that's one thing that I really I will be 100% real with y'all. I am horrible with setting unrealistic expectations. Like when I really want to achieve a goal, I be trying to go hard in the dang paint, okay? But that can cause you to like burn out, and then you stop, and you don't reach that particular goal if you do that. It makes you like not even driven, because you start feeling like a failure. You know, psychologically in your mind, you start feeling bad about, oh, you know, I can't do this, or it's not working out, or I'm not good at this. When that's not the case. It's just that you should have set your expectations a little more realistically about your goals. Realistically, what can you do in this amount of time? And how are you going to go about achieving those things? You just have to be more realistic, because it's possible. So it's the same thing with relationships. We tend to even loosen our expectations when it comes to others. Not always the case, you know, especially when somebody's saying they only want to date guys that's 6 feet tall and above or whatever. You might be, you know, someone who is just an extreme gentleman and is everything that you dreamed of and some, but he just not that tall. You know what I mean? And so you have to be realistic about, you know, is that expectation, is that really a deal breaker, or just something that you'd like to have in your mind? That way, when something comes along and it's a little different, you know that whether or not you're going to be open to it or not, because you don't want to be playing with nobody's emotions. That's not right. Stringing somebody along. God, I sound so busted. I hate MG. I mean, I think having the type of background that I have, though, has helped me tremendously with getting through it. At first, like, I had the hardest time accepting that that was truly what was going on with me. I didn't want to believe that diagnosis. I didn't, you know, I want to walk around and say, like, you know how some people say, well, if you say it doesn't exist, then it doesn't, and all that, but that wasn't being realistic either. So it was more realistic for me to realize that it's there, but there's certain ways that I can manage it. There's certain things that I can do that are within my control that will help it not be as, you know, acting up as much, helping the symptoms not be exacerbated. I was thinking about, since I do my, you know, let's talk discussions based on, you know, just like human interaction, relationships, mental health, and, you know, self-love, and, you know, all those things that people love to learn more about. That's like areas that people want to improve or want to know more. But I'm thinking it would be awesome to like do like some interviews and stuff with like others in the field, dating coaches, counselors, to where we're just like, just discussing our take on situations and, different things that you can do to help with dating and things like expectations, like we're talking about today. Because when they're unrealistic, you're gonna find yourself like not feeling too great, sis or bruh, because you're setting yourself up for that when you're not realistic about it. And that's one thing that I did agree with Kevin Samuels, is that you got to be realistic about what you have to offer someone else. So he may not have said it the way that I would have said it, or in a way that I would have said it, but I do agree with that much, that you possibly might, if you keep thinking that way, you might be alone for a long time if you don't change your thought process and change your expectations. But how long do it take for you to realize that if you haven't changed it up and you've been on the same boat, same situation for years and years at a time? At that point, it's like, okay, it's time to check myself a little bit and see what's going on. And I'm not saying it's always you, but a lot of times we attract people. We attract, people, even if we say, oh, we always attract dogs, or we all, people that are unfaithful. If something that you got going on, a lot of times that I had to learn that a lot of times it's you that's attracting people like that. Number one, if you say you deserve something, you got to 100% believe that's what you deserve, but you got to be realistic about it too. Not just like, I deserve the best because I'm a great person. There's nothing wrong with having expectations. It's just that they need to be relinquished when they're unrealistic. You're going to have to work on that, because situations not going to really be any more different until you make those adjustments. And that's how us being human, the human mind works like that. And a lot of times these situations, we go through things in life and we learn from them. Because we're not perfect, we're human. But that's the thing, some people seem like they never learn. Like time in and time out, you can't figure that it's something that you're requesting that's not possible, or because if you want that, then you need to do X, Y, Z, because then maybe you'd be more attractive to that group of individuals. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. There are some, speaking of makeup, there are some men that don't like when women wear it, and that's fine. But if you're a person that that's what you like, then you need to make sure that whoever you're dating understands that that's what you're doing. Because it doesn't necessarily, some people like to say, you hate yourself when you wear makeup and all that, but that's not always the case. Like, I know many people who only wear it occasionally or just wear it when they feel like it. They don't wear it because they feel like they have to. Not all of them. Now, I have heard some women say that they can't leave the house without it. And I'm like, sis, you got to work on that. But some people got, blemishes and things like that they're not comfortable with. And so they try to cover that up. If I have 100%, beautiful skin, or mainly beautiful skin, but the next person have blemishes, and I'm telling them they don't love themselves because they wear makeup, like, that's not fair. Especially if I'm walking around with like gorgeous skin. So although I'm comfortable not wearing it every single day of my life, there are some people who are not comfortable because they have something going on with their skin. And until they, figure out some medication or what to do to address it. Or maybe it's a scar even. Some people have scars too. Y'all, I went a shade down and I think I still need another shade down. Because usually I am much lighter in the winter. Even though in Nevada and Vegas, we still be having a lot of sunlight. Even in the winter, it's just cooler outside. You would think with all that sun that you don't get that much lighter, but shoot. I be looking discolored like a mug because I be changing colors from the summer, you know, being 117 dang degrees outside to like now where it's like nice. It was 30 something degrees this morning when I left, which is not nothing to some of y'all like in Chicago or something. But here, you know, it gets pretty windy, you know, sometimes too. So on a windy day, it ain't even the business. And if it's too windy, I won't even wear no wig or nothing like that. But, you know, I love my little natural hair on days like that. I love head wraps. So I'll just do my African queen look. I like to change things up. Like I get bored with looks and stuff like that, and I find it fun. Like I'm very creative and artistic. So that's really why I like makeup. Because when I was in cosmetology, I went to high school and I did regular high school classes like anyone else, but I went to a special high school. It was a vocational high school. And I took cosmetology 1 and 2. And so even though we were doing makeup and stuff in there, I was not into wearing like a whole lot of makeup. I wore like lipstick and stuff like that. So I never thought I would end up being a makeup artist. I never thought that I would end up doing a beauty, fashion, and lifestyle channel, y'all. But I'm so glad I did. My Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. Brighten up under my eyes a little bit. Like how is everything with y'all dating and stuff? Like are y'all, where are y'all with dating and stuff? Like do you find that you have a hard time getting what it is that you set your expectations for? Like I'm curious to know. I think I used to set my expectations far too low, like in my past. It's like trial and error. When you finally do learn, it's like, oh, this is why, you know, that's what I needed to do differently. Getting me a blending sponge so I can blend this out a little bit. I think I'm gonna wet it with, I'm gonna use some of this setting spray. It smells like mint. It's by Pop Beauty. It's Makeup Magnetic Mist is what it's called. Well, I have fun doing this. Like I just look at it like a hobby most of the time. Like growing up, I like to sit there and draw and stuff like that. So I think that's really, like I said, I have an artistic side. So I like doing like a lot of projects with my hands. I like even making wigs, not just because I feel like I need big hair or something. I just like seeing what I can do, what I'm capable of doing, and how creative I could be with doing it. Like how many different ways I could change something up. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. But you know, you like what you like. I can't tell like a man to not like, to force him to like a woman wearing makeup if that's not what he likes. But if that's what you like, and it's a big part of your life, that person can find somebody else. Somebody out there for everybody. Even when somebody else is like, ooh, I can see it happening. I done seen people with people that I would never think twice about being with, but they worked out because they're different and they met that person's expectations. There we go. How has dating life been with COVID, y'all? Because COVID is really changed the scene up, I'm telling you. Who out there still dating with COVID, or are y'all just kind of laying low? So not just when it comes to you meeting somebody else, be, realistic about your expectations for yourself too. Because if you practice with that, you can get better at having, more realistic expectations for your relationships. Not just with, dating, like in romance, but like with like maybe your parents, siblings, other relationships that you have. So the best thing to do is to reflect on the outcome, like the effects of those unrealistic expectations that you had in the past that didn't quite work out well for you. Like to reflect on that. Like you really want to consider, does that expectation help you? You know what I mean? Help you get to where you want to be? Does it help you achieve what you want to achieve? Does it help you get what you want to get? Like in a mate, a man, a woman. I'm gonna use some setting powder, so I'm gonna be looking a little cray for a minute, y'all. And most days I don't even do this because I have to like set it like stone with that mask, because we gotta wear a dang mask everywhere we go. And who wants to do all this work to cover it up? Not me. I'm trying not to have my sweatshirt looking too powder white. Okay, y'all, so yeah, that's the thing that you want to do is consider, whether the expectation is really helping you or not. Because if it's just you wishing upon a star, but it ain't gonna do nothing for you, then consider, what else you would be willing to work with. If I might not necessarily get this, but that would be okay too. You know what I mean? I think I want to use a flat brush. I'm gonna use this one right here. Okay. But yeah, y'all. If the expectation isn't really helping you, or if it's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form, once you realize that, it's a wake-up call for you, and you're like, okay. At that very point, you already know. You know what it is. So you don't, continue on with that. Once you know something don't work for you, you got to change it up and try to figure out what will work for you. And that's why coaching and counseling is very good. So if you are a fan of Mr. Kevin Samuels, and you find that you struggle with realistic expectation, and you might want to consider booking an appointment, or if you feel like you have deeper rooted issues, you may want to reach out to a therapist to help you with that. You know what I mean? Because everybody's not expected to be experts in this area. That's why we exist, If you're not a police officer, you're not going to know every little thing, every little detail about how they should go about doing something, or, So that's like in your area of expertise. You'll be schooling me, because I wouldn't probably know crap about it. But once you realize how unrealistic expectations actually complicate things in your life, because they have you feeling bad a lot of times when you don't achieve what you set forth for yourself to achieve, you'll eventually get it together and be like, okay, I don't want to do that no more. We got to figure out something different. Eventually, you'll get sick and tired of it. Some people probably never do, but like Mr. Samuel said, if you continue going down that path, you could end up alone for a very long time. A lot of people are so set in their ways and they want to point the finger at what everybody else is doing. I want, and not worry about, what the other person, what they have to offer to the other person. And that's not fair, especially if you're asking for somebody that got a lot of moolah and you have nothing to bring to the table. They're going to be looking like, well, what you got for me? You ain't got crap. But relationships are not easy, and I know y'all know that. But we complicate them more when we're not realistic about things. And you don't want to set nobody else up, You already got them thinking that they're not good enough for you because you set the bar a little too high. Oh, they got to do this and be that. Got to have, a Lamborghini or, some expensive car, BMW, Maserati or something. Like, if that's all you expect in people is looking at the material things, you don't really want much, because what about if that person is aggressive or, they don't have anything other than just that money and looks or something? You're going to find yourself unhappy eventually. So you want to consider a lot more than just money. Y'all, I never used the highlight in this palette. I think it's kind of like bland looking or something. I just want to see what the heck it look like. This is the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. See? I just want to see what this highlight look like. It ain't nothing to write home to mama about, but it's not like one, like we used to these highlighters nowadays that just like super pop, but it's pretty. It's definitely enough for today, because I never really wear this. So I figured, let me just try it out. Okay. I think we look alright, y'all. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get too fancy. It's actually kind of trying to keep it a little simple. So simple is as simple does. I think a little light eyeliner or something would help out. Does this look a little boring without eyeliner? Yeah, it's life-changing. Hold on. There we go. It's life-changing when you practice just being compassionate and kind of loosening your hold on unhealthy beliefs. Like if you believe that, you have to have somebody that's rich in order to be treated right or to understand you. And that may not even be the case. Ask yourself why you need that. Is it because you lack it on your own? Because if you had your own business or your own funds, would you know what I mean? And it is great, when two people make really good money when they get together, but you just have to make sure that while you're requiring so much, that you also are prepared to give just as much as what you're expecting from somebody else. A lot of time when it sounds too good to be true, but your expectations are, that's the case. So try, to consider reevaluating them and changing it up a little bit and see if something changes for you. Then you'll know for sure that it was the unrealistic expectations that weren't working out for you. It's not that you were necessarily a failure, you were just setting yourself up to fail because of those unrealistic expectations. If you can't tell yourself like why you must have somebody 6 feet tall or whatever, if you can't really find a reason that aside from that's what you always dreamed of or something, that's what I mean by realistic. Not just what you always dreamed of, but what about if, Mr. Right isn't the exact height of your dreams, but he has everything else to offer you and some? Are you going to pass that up simply because, his jawline ain't a certain way, or, I'm not saying that physical attraction doesn't matter at all either. That's not what I'm saying. But you obviously want somebody that you're attracted to. I'm just saying that, consider that probably not going to be 100% perfect because none of us really are. But if you do have deal breakers, what are they? And I would actually like to hear in the comments below, if some of y'all have deal breakers, what are they? Like, when it comes to you dating, out there looking, or not necessarily looking, but while you're dating and exploring the whole dating scene and, getting to know others out there, what is a complete deal breaker for you? And why? Like, I would love for y'all to chime in on that in the comments below. I would love to hear both men and women because I love y'all all. I don't, I just get, I feel bad sometimes when I see the whole, I was mentioning in the last video, the whole war. It's like a gender war going on YouTube, and I was just saying that that's kind of sad, and it is, but is it an unrealistic expectation to expect it to be any better? But it just depends on the people. It's just that you can't control everybody. So whoever's not gonna like women is not gonna like women, and whoever don't like men is not gonna like them. And we can give our 2 cents, but at the end of the day, we all have our own minds and reasons too, because we've all been through different situations that impact our thought process and why we won't go for something again. Maybe we've been hurt every time we get with a certain type of person, and we don't want to go through that again. You just don't want to become bitter and let that be your driving force for everything in life. Big ups to the good men out there. For anybody out there positive that's just trying to live their life, But what would y'all think about lives? Are any of y'all into coaching, counseling? Would any of y'all be interested in maybe doing some lives with me, participating and stuff? I mean, if that's something that y'all would like to see, I would love to do it, but I just want to see what you guys would be interested in, what you could benefit from the most, what type of discussions and so forth. Like I said, I love you all y'all. I don't discriminate against the women, and I don't discriminate against the men. that's just not me. You know what I mean? You don't have to love me, but I've always been this way. Whether you like me or not, I'm gonna love you, you know? Sometimes you have to love people from a distance now, because they start cutting up on you. Obviously, if you feel like you're not welcome, it's not a place you want to vacation. But I don't think Mr. Samuels is a, terrible person. And I think he has good things and other things like we all have. That's what I was saying. Like, it's not really about pointing fingers like that. It was just a little surprising for me. Like, I didn't expect what I saw. Even though, I did see previous, videos and stuff of his. I find some of his videos that I did see, I found them very interesting. They weren't all, I'm not saying like everything he does is bad. It was just, I was trying to see what all the controversy was about. And I just wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? Like, y'all have to understand that when you're looking at it from a perspective of a professional and you're not a fan of somebody, even if you are, wrong is wrong, but when you're not a fan of somebody, don't mean that you can't disagree with something, because y'all don't have a clue like how many times a client has come to me screwed up from a bad therapy experience. Like, people actually have bad experiences with actual therapists, like licensed therapists. So, and that makes more work for you, honestly, if you have to work with those people, because number one, it's harder to build rapport and for that person to start trusting you because they've had X amount of bad experiences with therapy. And sometimes they don't even be wanting to put forth the work because they don't trust, because they think you're going to be like the last one that didn't work out. The last person who tried to help them or supposedly attempted to help them. And so that's another, way I was kind of looking at it, like, kind of makes it hard for all of us when we get people like that, they question what we're doing because something that didn't go right with you. There we go. Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and throw on, where are they? What me did with the lashes. How we talking? What me did with the lashes. Y'all, I'm just being silly. Those of you who know me already know. But I love y'all. How y'all been? Everybody holding up okay? With the pandemic here in Vegas, the numbers have been freaking crazy. And I was telling y'all my immune system is compromised. So like, if I do go, I try to order like, my groceries to have them delivered from Amazon Fresh or Walmart through Postmates, And sometimes I still have to go to the store, but I be trying to get in and out. But I miss going to the mall, y'all. Y'all, this camera. But these lashes are from Shein. Y'all know I get a lot of my clothes from there. That's where this sweatshirt came from. But in the comments below, put if y'all would like me to do like some Let's Talk discussions live. Would y'all be willing to come on and, chat with me like anybody with any type of expertise? Y'all could even come on and talk about, your situations. And we could everybody could give feedback in the chat and so forth. Like, I think that would be kind of cool. And then also, what kind of Let's Talk discussions do y'all want? Y'all want more dating stuff? Y'all want, what kind of other topics y'all want me to chime in on for y'all? But yeah, practice being compassionate, y'all. Because you need to be patient. When you're patient, too, it helps because you're not rushing somebody. You know, like sometimes people just be so naggy. And I'm not saying settle, because you would totally be unhappy if somebody has none of the characteristics that you desire, or that you know you're not compatible in some way. I'm not saying settle. Unrealistic expectations and settling are two different things. But I like chatting with y'all. Y'all hear that deep voice? That's my 14-year-old. He has like a straight baritone voice going on. Just out of nowhere, he woke up one morning and his voice was like hella deep. It started coming in when he was like 12. And my youngest made 11. If y'all follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that Jerry turned 11 in December on the 17th. I love my boys. They get really good grades in school and everything, thank goodness. And their daddy be on them otherwise. And me too, really. Y'all pray for me that I get some sleep tonight. Cause the sis is tired, y'all. I'm tired. What do we want to do to the bottom today? I was even kind of thinking about gold, but it don't be really showing up the way I want it to when I try to do gold on the bottom. And I don't want to be too dang dramatic. This is nude. No, they're not there telling nobody to quit their job. Better not be. I swear that's what I thought I heard. That's pretty. This is gold. What is this? Revlon Color Stay Cream Gel Pencil. It's in 24 karat. So lining it with that nude first really made this pop. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna even put a little bit like right here. I like it, y'all. Me like. Yeah, if your partner, the person that you're dating, disappoints you, y'all, it's important to communicate so you can express it and why it bothered you. And you know, you don't have to be crazy, completely like nutty with it, but just express it. What bothered you about it, you know, just keep open communication. And then just allow a little bit of flexibility. And what I mean by that, like instead of saying, you said you know, help me clean up or whatever, like in that way, because I know I could be like that, because I hate that I don't be getting help sometimes with cleaning. Like that drives me nuts. It didn't used to bother me as much, but like I would take on everything in the household, and that gets stressful, especially when you like trying to reach other goals and that's not the only thing you have to do. So I have to get on now. I don't want, just because they're boys, I don't want them knowing how to take care of themselves. They still gotta know how to clean up and wash their clothes and be boys. Because when you don't have a woman around, you can't just always expect that you're gonna have somebody to do it. You gotta be, you know, they're gonna have to be prepared to be grown men and do things themselves. Because some people come in a relationship with those type of expectations, like a wife is supposed to be a maid. I mean, I think that causes a lot of issues, because that doesn't sound appealing to a lot of people. Like, what are you signing me up for here? Especially like when you have other stuff going on too. Kind of you'll start feeling like, you know, what you have going on is never important enough. There we go. So that's why, you know, counseling before marriage and stuff like that is actually beneficial, and not like rushing, getting to actually know each other, because you don't want to find out certain stuff. Like, you're gonna steady be growing and learning stuff about each other, but you don't want to be finding out certain things that something that you had set in your mind was a deal breaker, and y'all never discuss, you know, your expectations, and that person does the unthinkable, and you got ready to call off the whole marriage. So before you even get yourself to that extent, that's what the point of taking your time to get to know somebody is for. I remember the older folks would say that, you know, back in my dating, you know, when I was first starting to date. Take your time, you know, these young people be in a rush and blah, blah, blah. But they say that stuff for a reason, honey. Take it from people who done been through it. You might not have the same exact situation, but a lot of times they be telling you stuff because they made mistakes. And we all make mistakes. We just sometimes don't like what we have to deal with as a result, like the actual outcome of the choices we make. But that's a part of life. Whenever we make choices, we have an outcome. It's cause and effect, baby. Okay, y'all. They're so freaking loud. I'm gonna have to get on them about that. Like when mommy's recording, y'all need to get it together. But yep, therapy is good for your relationships. Dating coaches, you know, good ones. You gotta do what you gotta do if it's worth it to you, you know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all. So I think we got our look together here that we're gonna roll with. What y'all think? I'm about to go over on that side so I could do the other video, the wig review. But I enjoyed chatting it up with y'all today while I was getting ready, my loves, mis amores. And yeah, put below in the comments what kind of stuff y'all would like to chat about in the future. And you know, some I do get ready with me while I'm doing my makeup. Other ones, y'all see me it's just nothing but let's talk discussion. So I am willing to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Y'all tell me what y'all want to see. I got to get back on my weight loss journey, like sharing that with y'all. I'm still like doing it, but I got to get back with sharing that with y'all, because that's one of my goals and something that I'm working on. Y'all know I'm only 4'11", so being short, you ain't got a whole lot of room to be. You know, and I love being curvy. That's one thing that I love. So, yeah. I'm not saying unhealthy though. You know what I mean? Like, but I like having like actual shape. That makes sense. So I don't want to like lose everything. But we're working on, you know, the midsection, and you know, just trying to get it together because we got work to do. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, I love y'all so much. I hope y'all are doing well. I am about to go over there so I can finish up this other video. And then I will, you know, look at, you know, what y'all suggest and stuff like that. If y'all want me to touch on certain topics. And then I'll be getting them up for y'all. And then let me know what y'all think about, you know, me doing lives. I know I did used to get on and do like a few beauty lives, like wig reviews and stuff like that, but I need to start going live again, period. I need to be doing Instagram lives and lives on YouTube. I don't know, I've never wanted to really do lives on Facebook for some reason, y'all. Do y'all be on Facebook? Y'all go follow me on my social media pages, please. If you have not made it official, please join the LAL fam, because your girl loves you like this. I love you real big, and I gotta have you in my life. You make it official by just tapping that subscribe button. It's free 99. It doesn't cost you a thing. Don't cost you nothing, okay? So yeah, mi gente, just, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe, join the fam, and tap the alert bell so you won't miss out on any of the uploads, stuff that we have, any of the action, anything that we're doing over here at the LAL channel. And y'all go follow me on TikTok and stuff too. Like, even though like when I do my Let's Talk discussions and stuff, y'all see a more serious side to me. And I've done like a few story times as well with y'all, and some of the situations were like tragic, but like, I'm really silly. I love to have a good time. I love to laugh and smile. Like, I'm really usually pretty on the happy side, you know, even considering that I struggle with like MG and neuropathy and stuff like that. I still am like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like an Alvin and the Chipmunks. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Yeah, y'all, and I gotta put up some more natural hair videos too, because it's been a while since I've like really showed y'all TWA style. You know, I love to rock my little short natural hair as well. But y'all, your girl loves you. I don't want to keep you any longer. I'm gonna go over there so we can get this other video done, and I hope that y'all have an enjoyable rest of the week, my kings and queens. Do something good for somebody, you know what I'm saying? Keep your heads above the water. And I hope all the best for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Just work on those expectations, okay? I'll be doing the same. All right, loves. Later. Ow. Bye, y'all.